Michelle and Lisa Taylor, flanked by their family, free to go home, their convictions quashed. The judges condemned the press for prejudicial reporting of the original trial and the police for concealing vital evidence. Alison Shaughnessy, here at her wedding, was brutally murdered, stabbed 54 times. Coverage of the original trial was extensive. The Crown had alleged that Michelle was Alison's husband's mistress. She had the motive. Lord Justice McCowan described the press reporting as comment which assumed guilt. Some newspapers were strongly criticised. What was no more than a peck on the cheek in the wedding video, said Lord Justice McCowan, was deliberately changed to look like a mouth-to-mouth embrace between two lovers.
Every morning when you go to court, you think, oh, when you get there, that the judge and your prosecution and the defence are all going to stand up and say, look what the papers are doing, it's all wrong. But no one does and no one's listening. And you think every morning, next morning, oh, it's going to happen today, but it never does.
Do you feel they all came in believing fully what was said in the papers?
Half of our jury come back with papers. They used to come in the morning with the newspapers, so you knew they were reading it.
And how did that make you feel?
At the time, you don't take any notice.
At the time, you believe that they believe that you are innocent. You don't think that they're going to listen to the papers or the television or what they're reading, but they do. But at the time, you think, oh, there's enough evidence to show that we are innocent, and they'll believe it, but they don't, because they're too swayed by what the papers say or what people say on television.
The jury had taken more than 6 hours to reach their unanimous decision. Michelle Taylor glanced briefly at her parents. Her sister Lisa covered her face with her hand. Mr. Justice Blofeld told them, "You've been found guilty of a terrible crime, the killing of a young wife whose life was all before her and whose life is now no more."
It's very easy to sort of get, two little teenage, well not little, but 2 teenage girls, and sort of it's much more shocking to make them out as evil, murderers, all the rest of it.
They do it with most cases, They don't have much evidence, but they print it straight away.
The press get their information from the police most of the time anyway. So I reckon more of it's the police to blame, I would say, for giving the press the information in the first place.
Making them false information.
That's what I mean. But then the press should know between right and wrong.
And they should have checked the information out before printing it.
So I don't know.
Yes, but in this society, one is led to presume that the police are always tell the truth. So they'll be giving out truthful information, presumably.
We've actually got proof, and the PCA are dealing with that at the moment. The officer in charge of the case and 2 others actually had lunch with a journalist, and that journalist paid for their lunch before their trial started to discuss the case.
So you were obviously convicted even before the trials had started.
Yeah.
I mean, it says innocent until proven guilty, and that is a load of rubbish as well.
We have spent 2 years of our lives protesting our innocence, and only now has the deliberate mistake of the police come to light. We will not say by being released justice has been done, because we should not have been put in this position in the first place.
How exactly did the police treat you? Was it as if everything you said was a lie?
When we was arrested and I was questioned on the tapes, I was advised by my solicitor not to answer anything, so I answered no comment, which made the police more angry, I think. They still ask you the questions even though you're saying no comment. I was called a cold-hearted bitch. I was called quite a few things because I didn't answer questions. I think it made them more mad.
And this was all on tape?
Yeah, it was all on tape.
Afterwards, because she had answered no comment, one of the actual policemen stated in the paper that she was worse than an IRA terrorist because she answered no comment.
So if you answer no comment, you get called names. If you do answer questions, they twist your words, so it doesn't make any difference what you do. They still get at you one way or another.
And this woman that I had interviewed me, she was opposite me, started banging on the desk, telling me I was a murderer, I'd killed her, why don't I just come out of it? And that was before we was even arrested.
Hearing what you've been through, if that happened to me, I just don't know what I would have done.
It's impossible to put yourself in that position.
You don't know unless you're in that position. Can't say.
I can just see myself just crying. I mean, I'm a sort of person who, I don't cry a lot, but in your position, I think I would just be crying non-stop. I wouldn't know where to go, what to do.
I seriously think that if I'd been hounded and hounded for weeks, I'd probably just I could actually be convinced.
Just a lot of people do go along with what the police say because they can't stand it anymore.
If it went on for long enough, I might just say I can't be bothered anymore.
So you'd say just so that you get.
I don't know, but
a lot of people do that. I mean, the police go on and on.
Steve Miller, the Cardiff 3.
In the end, they just say, all right then, yeah, I did, all right then, just to get the police away from them, to leave them alone. But
for me to say that, I think it would have to have gone on for a really long time, really.
It depends. I mean, Steve, what was it, 130 times he denied that he'd done it.
And then on that,
and that was on tape.
And then on that one occasion.
Yeah, he'd had enough. No solicitor present, nothing. But those guys did 4 years.
Is it actually allowed to do that? Or what I didn't understand is, how come if you announce you're not going to comment, what in that case is their justification for continuing the questioning?
They have the right.
It's their right.
It's their right.
But what's the reasoning behind that? Because as far as I can see, that is blatant, just sort of beating you down, or...
Yeah. But that is their right.
You've got a right to not answer, and they've got the right to keep asking. The police had proof that we didn't do it, and they hid it away from everybody. So really they're most at fault because they sat in court and watched us get convicted, and back in the police station they had boxes and boxes of paperwork with paperwork in it that said there was no way we could have done it. So really they're at fault.